These are the top 5 14-inch gaming laptops that I would purchase with my own money. Now, there's a lot of options available to you on the market and a lot of tech reviewers telling you which laptop you should consider. However, how many of those laptops would they personally buy with their own money? These 5 I would purchase. And they're in individual budget categories of budget friendly, mid-tier budget, and then upper budget. So not only am I going to show you the ones I would buy, but there's different price ranges. So everybody can be included in this top 5 lineup. And hopefully I don't leave anybody out. This video is brought to you by ASUS ProArt laptops. The laptop's built from the ground up for creators. More information to come later in the video. Now, what we're looking at here is the top features that I love and some things that I don't like about each laptop to ultimately help you with your purchasing decision. Now, first and foremost, we're looking at the MSI Cyborg 14. Now, this is the entry-level laptop. It retails at about $1,099, but you can find it on sale in the mid-800s. You might say, well, Ben, you shot outside of my budget. And I apologize if I did so. However, I'm talking specifically to creative professionals, and there's a certain level of expectation of performance that you need for video editing, 3D modeling, and even intense Photoshop work. So this for me is the entry point for a 14-inch gaming laptop with a dedicated GPU and H-series CPU for the performance that you need with the person that I have specifically in mind. So somebody doing video editing or 3D modeling, this is a great starting point for you. Now, one thing I really like about this laptop is you have 2 upgradable RAM slots. Not all 14-inch laptops, you can upgrade the RAM. In fact, most of them you can't. And so this laptop provides you with the opportunity to upgrade the RAM. Now, another thing I really like about this laptop is it has a nice selection of ports that most 14-inch laptops don't have. We have the standard USB Type-A, USB Type-C, HDMI, and then of course your power adapter. On the other side, we have an additional USB-C and headphone jack. However, one port that this laptop has that every other laptop on the lineup doesn't is the network port. So you can go ahead and plug this laptop straight into your router and have the fastest internet possible. You don't have to worry about the glitchy Wi-Fi connection. So that is super nice about this laptop. Now, one big downside to this laptop is the battery life. It maxes out at around 5 hours of battery life for streaming video playback or productivity, which is not a good battery life. It's like battery life 2017. So for me, this is where this laptop kind of gets a little bit of a ding. I wish it had a better battery life. Also, one thing to keep an eye on is that this is a full HD display that does not reach a high Adobe RGB or DCI-P3. It reaches 98% sRGB, which is good, but it only reaches 78% Adobe RGB and 78% DCI-P3. However, it does have a really nice screen brightness at 471 nits. So overall, it's a great entry point and it's a solid price point. It has an aluminum top cover, has good plastic material. It's not that cheap, chintzy plastic that you see on some laptops. I like the clear vibes that it has going on. It's a really cool design. And I think for the entry-level price point, it's a great laptop. Thin, light, can't go wrong. Now, the next laptop on the lineup might be my favorite laptop. It might be the best bang for buck that money can buy. This is the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 14-inch model. It's an aluminum chassis. You have an aluminum top cover, and you have an aluminum bottom cover. So the build quality is excellent. The performance is very, very good. It has really well optimized performance. And we're going to do the performance section later in the video. But one thing that really stands out to me about this laptop is the port selection as well, but in a different way. We have an SD card reader on this laptop. If you're a photographer or a videographer who's often importing footage and don't want to carry a dongle around, you have an SD card reader, which is super nice. Now the ports on the other side, we have 2 USB Type-Cs, and on the back side, we have HDMI, 2 USB Type-A's, and our power adapter. So you have all the connectivity you need, including your headphone jack on this laptop. Now it's a nice 14-inch 16:10 aspect ratio screen. It's bright. It is glossy, which is one thing that I think some people might not like. Some people don't really like the glossy screen. It tends to reflect a good bit. You can see as I move the screen, you can see my overhead light. And so it is definitely glossy and a bit on the reflective side. So that might be something that concerns you. Just keep an awareness for that. Now the keyboard is nice. It's not my favorite keyboard on this lineup. It is the classic Legion keyboard. So there's really nice snapback on the keys. It's one thing I didn't mention on the MSI Cyborg. It does have a very nice keyboard as well, but it's a little bit more chiclet keys. It's a little bit noisy and snappy. I don't love the keyboard. We do have a nice sized trackpad. Okay, sorry, jumping back into the Lenovo Legion. I like the trackpad. It has a nice confident click, really well designed overall. Now for this laptop, it is a little bit dimmer in regards to the screen. We have 385 nits of screen brightness, but we do have a 100% sRGB, 97% Adobe RGB, and 99% DCI-P3 at a Delta E of 0.75. So this is a fantastic laptop for creators looking for great color accuracy. Now, although you don't have upgradable RAM on the Legion Slim 5, you do have two M.2 slots, one occupied, one unoccupied. This is fantastic because on the other laptops, you're only going to have one M.2 slot, and that of course will be occupied with your boot drive. So at any time, you can pull the bottom cover off of this laptop and add an additional M.2 drive without having to fuss with the boot drive, resetting up Windows and all that jazz that goes into, getting a new boot drive in your laptop. Slide a new M.2 drive in and you're off to the races. This laptop for me is the best bang for buck. I'm gonna show you later in the video why this laptop for me, as far as a bang for buck is concerned, is the gold standard for 14-inch gaming laptops. Now the Legion Slim 5 14-inch model has the third best battery life on this lineup. So we have 9 hours and 3 minutes for streaming video playback. So it has a really good battery life. Now there's two laptops, the Omen and the G14. They're gonna have the best battery life on this video. But like I said, this is the best bang for buck, the gold standard for bang for buck laptops in the 14-inch gaming laptop category. This video is brought to you by the ASUS ProArt PX13, a 2-in-1 laptop built from the ground up for artists, designers, photographers, and videographers. This laptop provides a 2-in-1 pen-compatible 3K OLED Corning glass display that is durable and color accurate. It weighs 3 pounds and is just over a half an inch thick. It has all-day battery life for productivity tasks, a durable aluminum chassis that exceeds stringent testing, and let's not forget about the ASUS dial to streamline your workflow, providing access to your most commonly used tools. Equipped with the AMD Ryzen AI 9 CPU, 32 gigs of RAM standard on every model, and an RTX 4050, 4060, or 4070, this device provides the necessary performance for even architecture and 3D modeling work. Check out my full review content of the ASUS ProArt PX13 within the playlist linked in the YouTube cards above or the description below. Next on the lineup is the Alienware X14R2. And for me, this is the go-to if you're looking for a thin and light 14-inch gaming laptop. It is the thinnest laptop on the lineup. It is sleek. I love the curved edges. It's super nice to handle. Really cool ventilation along the back. It has quite a large ledge, but that creates a very nice presentation of the laptop. It does not fold back further than about a 45-degree angle. Keep that in mind. But overall, I love the build of this laptop. Now, one ding that I have on this laptop is that it does have a rather small trackpad. That's pretty disappointing to me because as a creative professional, having a trackpad and being on the go, having a trackpad that's big enough to handle my workflow on the go, should I say, is definitely advantageous to me. And so for me, it's a little bit of a killjoy that this trackpad is so much smaller than some of the other laptops. Specifically, you see here the ASUS Republic of Gamers Zephyrus G14, substantially bigger trackpad compared to the X14. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when looking at the laptop. Now, what's really great about this laptop though, is we have nice cooling. This vent starts at the top of the keyboard deck and shoots all the way through to the bottom. So you have a really nice ability to cool this laptop. And we're actually gonna go through some thermals and fan noise, the dB, on these laptops near the performance section. So you'll know the thermals and how loud these laptops get, each of them, and hopefully that'll help you with your buying decision as well. Now, taking a look at the screen, less bright than the two before. We have a 296 nits screen brightness at 100% sRGB, 91% Adobe RGB, and 100% DCI-P3 at a Delta E of 1.71. So not as good of a Delta E as the Legion Slim, but it is good. It's still below that too. Looking at the battery life of this laptop, that's an area that I am a bit disappointed in. It's better than the MSI Cyborg, but it's 6 hours and 35 minutes. It's not great. That's for streaming video playback. And so I wish this had a bit better battery life, especially being a 14-inch laptop. In this category, we're seeing battery lives better and better because it doesn't have as large of a screen, usually doesn't have as big of a GPU. So battery lives usually are a bit better in this category, and this was one that was not. Next up on the lineup is the HP Omen Transcend 14. To me, this is one of the coolest laptops in 2024. What I love about this laptop, of course, is the gorgeous keyboard. Some people hate it. I'm one of the ones that loves it. It's bright, it's pretty in your face, it's beautiful. I really enjoy it. The keyboard itself feels awesome. The keys have a nice firm snap back. You got a large shift key, full-size enter key. It's a super easy keyboard to use. The spacing is very nice between the keys. Now they are very close, but what they do is they round out the key around the edge, and so it creates that feeling of separation between the keys. And so it's really, really well done. Love the keyboard. The trackpad, equally as impressive. I really like the trackpad. And so overall, the typing and trackpad experience on this laptop is second to none. Now, going ahead and looking at the ports, that's one area that I'm not stoked about. It doesn't have a lot of ports. We have two USB Type A's on the right side. We have a USB Type C and a headphone jack on the left side. And along the back panel, we have a USB-C and an HDMI. So very slim port connectivity. And since this powers, you plug it into the charger via USB-C, you technically only have two, unless you were to get a dongle and then you could expand it. So not my favorite connectivity. Definitely be an area that I would ding this laptop for, would be the connectivity. Now, going ahead and looking at the display, this laptop has a solid display. It's an OLED display with 487 nits of screen brightness at 100% sRGB, 98% Adobe RGB, and 99% DCI-P3 at a delta E of 0.87, almost as good as the Legion. So really good screen on this laptop. Now, as far as the battery life, second place for the battery life of this laptop, we have 10 hours and 29 minutes for streaming video playback. Now, all these battery lives are run at 20% screen brightness with the laptop set to the lowest power mode possible. It's going to be set to either, quiet or whisper or whatever its equivalent mode is. And so if you're trying to get absolutely the best battery life possible, basically you're going to turn the laptop on a movie for 10 hours and just let it play. Now, looking at the upgrade path of this laptop, we do have no upgradable RAM. So in my opinion, the one that should be purchased is going to be the RTX 4070 version, because that comes with 32 gigs of RAM. Now, you do have the ability to swap out your boot drive. However, again, that gets a little finicky depending on your computer skills. And so for me, it's not really worth swapping that boot drive out. I would just carry an extra storage drive with me, which again is why I really like the Legion Slim 5, because you can go ahead and just add an M.2 drive, which is super nice. Now, as we're going through this video, if you're curious about the exact price and availability of each laptop, head down in the description below and click those links. Now, please, if you're going to make a purchase, use those links. It helps support my channel, keep it alive, and keep this helpful content coming your way. So if you wouldn't mind, it would be awesome if you would support us using those links. Remember, I'll get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. Now, there is the beautiful keyboard. Earlier, Windows decided to update and then run my review. Thank you so much, Windows. And so now you can see the beautiful keyboard. I mean, it just, if you don't like that, I don't know, you don't like to have fun. I think that's so fun. It's beautiful. So that's the keyboard that I think is absolutely gorgeous. Out of all these keyboards, it definitely is the most out of the box that is available in the 14-inch category for sure. All right, we are edging towards the performance section to see which laptop is right for you in regards to performance. But before we get there, let's check out the fifth laptop on the lineup. This is the ASUS Zephyrus G14, the slickest laptop in the 14-inch gaming laptop category, and the one that I would definitely buy with my own money, the one that's been getting tons and tons of attention on my channel. Everybody is raving about this laptop. And so this, for me, was an absolute no-brainer. It has incredible performance. It has incredible build quality. Let's go through some of the things that I really like about it. Now, first and foremost, the slash, it's okay. Don't love it, don't hate it. It's good. I recently got into the studio the PX13, ASUS ProArt PX13. So do note that if you're a creative professional and you want something sleek, sexy, this is definitely something to consider. It has a pen compatible screen, but this is a 13-inch laptop. So unfortunately it could not be in this video, but I highly recommend checking out this laptop. I've got full dedicated reviews about it. I'll link them up in the YouTube cards above. Okay, but now looking back at the G14, of course, one thing I don't love, and somebody got mad at me for complaining about this, but it's just like one of those like simple things. The keyboard has really mushy backlighting. That's one thing I noticed about it. Like here on the arrow keys, on the shift key, control key, you can like almost see the lighting mechanism and I just don't like it. It doesn't look super refined and professional. That's one area that I have to complain about the laptop. It seems like I'm splitting hairs, and I am, because the laptop is really awesome. Now, this is a CNC aluminum chassis, so the build quality is fantastic on this laptop. The port and connectivity is very good. We have our power adapter, HDMI, USB-C, and our USB Type-A, as well as a headphone jack. On the other side, we have a micro SD card reader, USB-A, and a USB-C. No ports along the back panel. Now, going ahead and taking a look at the color gamut range and the brightness, we have 479 nits of screen brightness at 100% sRGB, 97% Adobe RGB, and 100% DCI-P3 at a delta E of 1.25. So actually not the best in regards to the delta E, but still very good. Now, battery life, it takes the crown at 12 hours and 18 minutes on those really low settings of 20% screen brightness, Windows battery saver mode turned on, and then the quiet mode, which turns off the dedicated GPU mode. And that's where I'm literally just streaming a video from YouTube straight for that amount of time before the battery goes dead. So in normal working conditions, I'm guessing you won't be able to get that 12 hours, but in that test, it was able to see the 12 hours of battery life. Just keep that in mind. Now, one thing I love about this laptop is the bezel. It's almost up to the edge of the screen. It's very beautiful. And as you can see, though, it is a bit of a glossy screen, so you do have a bit of that reflection coming back towards me. If you want a matte screen, well, you got to pick a different laptop, unfortunately. Now, the upward-facing speakers are fantastic on this laptop. I'm actually going to do an audio sample of each of the laptops so you can hear them. Do a webcam speaker test so you can hear each of the laptops, see which one you like best. I'll do that in a moment. We're going to stay here. The trackpad, fantastic, quiet, really nice click. I really think they did a great job on this trackpad. It edges all the way up to the edge of the laptop. Really, really good job. Now, the keyboard, very quiet as well. Now, to me, I would say the best keyboard would be either the Omen or this keyboard. It's really hard, though, because the Omen keyboard is so beautiful, but this keyboard has just the simplicity that you need. Nice, large shift key, enter key, shift keys on both sides, and so it has what you need. Now, going ahead and flipping the laptop over and considering the upgrade path, this is an area where, again, it's a slim upgrade path. No RAM upgrade. You only have one M.2 slot available. So for me, tomato on the upgrade path. Yes, you can upgrade the boot drive if you want, but really more of my recommendation would be to grab some micro SD cards and use those to expand your storage. Don't upgrade the boot drive. That would be my personal recommendation. Now, I would not recommend anything less than the RTX 4070. It'd be the best price point. I think it's the best bang for buck. I think if you go higher, you're going to get a bit more GPU performance. But if you go lower, you're going to notice the lack of GPU performance. The 4070 really hits the nail on the head for the best bang for buck price point. Again, links are in the description below if you want to check the live pricing of any of the laptops here that we're going through on the video. Now, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and run through a webcam of each laptop so you can see them really closely together. You'll see the name up here on the screen for each webcam as it goes. And then we're going to do an audio sample of each laptop so you can hear what the speakers sound like. So we're going to dive into that right now. This is the webcam on the Alienware X14R2 and a little sample of the audio for you as well. This is the webcam on the ASUS Republic of Gamer Zephyrus G14 from 2024 and a little sample of the audio for you as well. This is the webcam on the HP Omen Transcend 14 and a little sample of the audio for you as well. This is the webcam on the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 14-inch model and a little sample of the audio for you as well. This is the webcam on the MSI Cyborg 14 and a little sample of the audio for you as well. Let's dive into the real world benchmarks right now. And we're going to start out at 3D modeling. Now remember that each laptop has its respective components listed within the chart, but then also when the laptops were spoken about individually, you saw the full performance readout on the screen with the text overlay. As you can see, the best laptop is going to be the G14. However, following it up is going to be the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 14-inch model, the best bang for buck gold standard. You can see it's just on its heels. And then you tiers off from there. Going ahead and taking a look at Photoshop, the Alienware X14 takes a rise up on the charts, really getting close to the G14. So it's really cool to see that if you're looking for a laptop inside of Photoshop, that's gonna be a great option for you. Moving on to video editing, you can see that the Alienware X14 has the best 4K export time. That's a 9-minute 4K clip. Put it in Premiere Pro and then export it out at full quality 4K settings. And you can see 2 minutes and 11 seconds for the Alienware. Now the worst performing laptop, and what's weird is during the export time, it would basically export up to 99% in about 2 minutes. But then that last minute it would take to finalize the clip. I ran this export multiple times and the MSI just kept doing that. And so for me, the slowest export time was of course the Cyborg, but then everything else was right in there in that low 2-minute range. So really any of the laptops will be great performers for video editing. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the thermals and fan noise. This might be a deciding factor for you. Starting out with the MSI Cyborg, we have 45 to 49 decibels at 76 to 82 Celsius during the 4K export. Looking at the Legion Slim 5, 46 decibels at about 71 to 79 degrees Celsius. For the Alienware X14 R2, 43 to 56 decibels, had kind of a big jump but during the export. It really spooled up there right at the end. And it got up to 85 to 101 degrees Celsius. What was crazy for me about that is this is supposed to be the laptop that has the best cooling because of the way it's configured, right? You can basically see through. See if I can get you. See up top maybe. See, right? Yeah, you can basically see through the vent. And that it couldn't get the laptop cool as I would expect was quite surprising. So the X14, as much as it has a really neat cooling system, it did not cool as efficiently as I had hoped. Now moving to the HP Omen Transcend 14, we have 40 decibels of fan noise, so one of the best for fan noise, and then 58 to 62 degrees Celsius. So I would say with that Intel Core Ultra 9, which is the only laptop on this lineup with that CPU, you're gonna have some of the coolest and quietest performance. Now moving on to the ASUS Republic of Gamer Zephyrus G14, one of the warmer laptops on the lineup along with the Alienware. It's gonna be 48 decibels at 92 degrees Celsius. So I would say if I was gonna choose two laptops based on the decibels and the thermals, I would go for either the Legion or the HP Omen. Those showed the best overall performance in my opinion. Now going ahead and moving on to the 6K export. This is a 6K B-RAW clip put into Premiere Pro. It's a 9-minute clip exported out at full quality 6K settings. You can see that overall the best performer is going to be the Lenovo Legion Slim 5 14-inch model. It is a workhorse and it is about $600 cheaper depending on the time you watch this video. It can be about $400 to $600 cheaper than the G14, which is pretty impressive. Now, one of the things is this is actually a 2023 laptop. Surprise, 2023 laptop, and they're becoming harder and harder to find. So either one, I hope Lenovo launches it again in the coming, later half of 2024, or hopefully you can find a leftover model because this would absolutely be the best bang for buck for me. I've said that throughout the video, and it blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Now, if I was gonna go from like a premium standpoint, I would get the G14. If I'm looking at just the keyboard and the cooling and the thermals, I think the HP Omen is incredible. If I'm really on a slimmer budget, the MSI Cyborg. If I'm looking at the thin and light capabilities of a laptop to be really nice, compact laptop, I'm going to check out the Alienware X14. So that's really how the cookie crumbles in my mind. Remember that links are in the description if you are ready to make a purchase, or click or tap the screen here for more videos to help you with your buying decision. I'll see y'all here in the next one.